What's something you did as a child that you only realized was absolutely dangerous years later? For me, it was when I was around 8 or 9. My family had just moved into this old house in a really rural area. It was built back in the 60s or something, and it had this massive backyard that backed right up to some thick woods. My parents were always super busy. Mom worked nights, Dad worked days, and my older brother Mateo and I basically had free reign of the property after school. There was this old shed at the very back of our yard. My parents explicitly told us to stay away from it because it was full of junk and they were planning to tear it down eventually. But, of course, telling kids not to go somewhere is basically an open invitation. So one day when Mateo was at soccer practice, I got bored and decided to check out the forbidden shed. The door was locked with a rusty padlock, but there was a broken window on the side. I literally squeezed through it. I was super skinny as a kid, and dropped down inside. It was dark and dusty in there, and it smelled really weird, like a mix of chemicals and old metal. But the coolest thing was that there were these glass bottles everywhere, dozens of them in all different colors and sizes. Some were clear, some amber, some blue. They all had these faded labels that I couldn't really read because they were so old and peeling. I genuinely thought they were like potions or something. I was completely obsessed with Harry Potter at the time, so in my head I just discovered some kind of wizard's laboratory. So I started playing this game where I would mix potions together. I'd take little bits from different bottles and combine them in this metal bowl I found. Thank God, I never actually drank any of it, but I'd stir it all together and pretend I was making magical concoctions. I did this for weeks, multiple times a week after school. I'd sneak into the shed, play with my potions, and then leave before anyone noticed. Sometimes the mixtures would get really hot or make weird smells or even change colors, but I just thought that was part of the magic. One time, I mixed something that started bubbling and smoking, and it scared me, so I dumped it outside in the dirt. It literally made this weird hissing sound and killed all the grass in that spot. I remember thinking I'd made some kind of death potion and feeling incredibly powerful. My parents never found out about my little hobby. After about a month or so, I just got bored of it and moved on to other things. Then, a few weeks later, some guys came and cleaned out the shed before finally tearing it down. I remember being sad that my potion lab was gone, but I didn't say anything, obviously. Fast forward to when I was in college, taking chemistry. We were learning about common household chemicals and lab safety. The professor was talking about how mixing certain cleaning products can create toxic gases that can literally kill you. And that's when it hit me like a truck. Those bottles in the shed, they were probably old cleaning supplies, pesticides, fertilizers, paint thinners, and who knows what else from the 60s, 70s, or 80s, back when that stuff was way less regulated. And I was mixing them together in a poorly ventilated space. I literally had to leave class because I started having a full-blown panic attack. The more I learned about chemistry, the more I realized how incredibly close I probably came to seriously injuring or even killing myself. I mean, mixing ammonia and bleach creates chloramine vapor that can cause respiratory failure. Mixing acids and bases can create violent, explosive reactions. Some of those old pesticides were probably toxic enough just on their own. The fact that I never drank any, never got splashed, or somehow didn't create a deadly gas that killed me on the spot is honestly miraculous. I was literally playing Russian roulette with industrial chemicals as an 8-year-old and had absolutely no idea. I finally told my mom about it years later, and her face went completely white. She said the previous owners had been some kind of hobby farmers, and the shed had indeed been their storage for all sorts of agricultural chemicals and supplies. They had told my parents to just get rid of everything when they moved.